Another major story we're following this evening, that oil spill stretching for miles along the picturesque Southern California coastline near Santa Barbara. Crews racing to contain the environmental damage from the pipeline, which may have spilled up to 105,000 gallons of oil into the ocean.
My name's Craig Carlson. I'm a marine scientist, oceanographer at the University of California, Santa Barbara in the Department of Ecology, Evolution, and Marine Biology.
What types of oil spill are there?
So there's lots of different kinds of spills, but if you break them down into two basic categories, there's natural spills and then there's man-made or anthropogenic spills. And so in the Santa Barbara Channel, by and far the largest amount of spill is associated with the natural seep system right here in the Santa Barbara Channel. So about 90% of all the oil spills are natural here.
How often is oil spilled and how much?
So natural spills take place every single day here in Santa Barbara Channel. About 10,000 gallons of oil crude is released daily, and another 40 tons of methane is released daily from the seeps here right in our backyard.
Oil spills. Why do we care? Because they not only affect animal ecosystems, but they can also affect human ecosystems. Oil spills occur when a pipeline or tanker are damaged and there's oil spills from the inside. In the sea, this oil then lies on top of a water surface. This can cause trouble to some animals because they have trouble staying afloat, and they also have trouble maintaining their homeostasis temperature. Today, we'll be talking about how oil can really affect these animals and their ecosystems.
How do oil spills affect the ecosystem?
So the oil spills will, depending on the type of spill, of course, like the natural seeps in Santa Barbara, part of our ecosystem is dependent upon these seeps and spills, but it happens at a lot lower rate. In other words, although we're releasing around 10,000 gallons a day through natural processes in the Santa Barbara Channel, if a tanker washes up on shore, that could be 100,000 gallons, hundreds of thousands of gallons at one time, and that's a different type of problem, and it can impact you can wipe out whole portions of the coastal ecosystem. You can take away bivalves, filter feeders, kelp forests, things like that, or in fisheries, whales. Those organisms are directly impacted by spills, birds especially. So parts of the ecosystem can be critically impacted by an accident.
The oil that affects these animals is very known to decrease the ability of an animal to maintain body temperature, which in the long run can cause hypothermia. Along with damaging animals and organisms, oil can damage plants and their habitats, making them have to find a new habitat or adapt to the one that they're already in. Besides affecting plants and animals, oil spills can affect humans because it can block off the oceans, decreases tourism, and causes less fishing. Along with the economic issues, oil spills might also cause contamination of water and damaging of the seafood that's been in the contaminated water. Overall, oil spills can have a lasting effect on plants, animals, and humans.
What solution do you have for oil spills?
I don't have one. I think making sure that the companies to protect anthropogenic spills, I think having companies pay close attention to their regulations, making sure that they're inspecting their equipment, making sure that things are operating safely. Just frequent inspections of the facilities would prevent the spill that we had last year. So doing due diligence and making sure that they're doing what they're saying they're doing is the important part.
When there's an oil spill, there are 5 ways to solve this problem. 1 is microbes, which eat the oil. 2 are organic heat loss, which absorbs all the oil. 3 is skimmers. 4 is boomers, and 5 is burning oil. Skimmers are boats which collect oil from the top of the surface of the water. They're like the vacuums of our ocean. Another solution, which is also controversial, is burning oil. This is only done if the oil is fresh and the containment needs to be done as soon as possible. The effects of this could be severe and can hurt our environment even more if done. Another solution is peat moss. Peat moss is very effective in collecting oil and is also easy to collect and from boats. Another solution is organic microbes. What's special about these genetically enhanced microbes is that they break down oils into CO2. This is usually done when the oil is by the shore. Boomers are floating barriers. Their job is to slow down and to contain oil spill. This prevents it from going widespread. These 5 solutions are some of the many solutions that are used to protect our ocean and also to prevent any spread of oils in our city.
What are the many costs of oil spills?
So there's lots of different costs. There's costs that are direct financial costs that, cleaning up spills that are anthropogenic it's quite costly. It takes a lot of manpower, a lot of resources to decontaminate sites. But then there is also costs associated with loss of ecosystem services, so meaning that our ecosystem the organisms and environment work together to provide services to man and to other organisms. And so by having big spills, it can definitely impact parts of the ecosystem that and have a loss of those ecosystem services.
How long does it take the ocean to recover from an oil spill?
So it depends on where the oil is spilled. There's a couple different kinds. When a tanker wrecks and it spills on the beaches or the surface ocean, that can get all over the beach and the rocks and the coastal environment. That takes a long time to mediate. If a spill happens in the middle of the ocean and it slicks on the surface, then because it depends on the nutrient conditions of the ocean, if there's a lot of stratification or density barriers in the ocean, you'll have very few nutrients in the surface waters that could prevent microbes or the organisms that break down hydrocarbons from growing. In places like the Gulf of Mexico, where the Deep Horizon spill was, where the actual plume was several thousands of meters below the surface, there's lots of nutrients, so that provided nutrients for the microbes to respond to the carbon sources from the hydrocarbon, and they were able to break down the hydrocarbons in relatively quick form. So it really kind of depends on where the spill happens, its proximity to the coast, and where the depth of the spill happens in the water column.
What is the government doing to try to prevent oil spill?
The government's played an important role in regulation of anthropogenic spills, and so there's a lot of things and hoops that companies need to jump through before they can start to drill. They have to survey these sites, they have to permit these sites, they have to do a lot of things before they get approval to actually drill. And in some places they're just banned from drilling. The biggest role that the government plays is in regulating the industry and placing fines and basically inspections and making sure that the companies that are going forward with drilling are doing it safely. And if there is a spill, then they are fined or punished for that. So they enforce economic sanctions, or they impose hefty fines if something goes wrong.
Hope you guys learned a lot about oil spills and how they affect the ecosystem. Thanks for watching.